You might be asking yourself, is school right for a newbie? Is joining one rental at a time school community right for you? You know what, folks? Why don't we just talk to somebody who joined, somebody who was skeptical. He didn't want to spend the $20, I should say, didn't want to waste the $20, which I don't think anybody should. But hey, we'll just ask Kyle what he thinks. Kyle, man, how you doing?
Good, man. Everything's going great.
Awesome.
Like you said,
Well,
man,
yeah, go ahead.
that school community's been awesome. If you're skeptical of joining, I would highly recommend. If you're like me, who's not much of a social media guy, kind of to himself, just trying to put himself out there. I mean, the amount of helpfulness people are on school is well worth it. So
Yeah. Well, let's just remind folks, who you are, what you're doing in this world, because again, everybody starts somewhere, but also everybody has a story. So, what is Kyle's story as we talk, July 2024?
yeah, just to start from the beginning, man, I've been a blue collar worker kind of my whole life, just kind of self-teaching myself as I go. Not a lot of mentors for real estate specifically in my life. It's been more the basic, work your 30, 40 years, hopefully collect a 401. There's no pension for people really my age anymore. And kind of that's how you retire. But I turned 23. I was able to buy my first house with only $8,000, doing a down payment assistance program, house hacking the house before I even knew it was a thing. So I started listening to podcasts and everything and realized it was. Fast forward 5 years later at 28, and my portfolio is four single family houses, three traditional rentals, and then a newer house hack that I'm doing, trying to live and flip at the moment, but more of a buy and hold, try and hold. But living in California, there's been decades of equity in a few years, like you said. So maybe kind of evaluate. That's what school is for too, talk to different
Yeah.
people, see what they're doing, go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. The beauty that what makes school so powerful, in my opinion, is now that we're over 200 students or whatever they're called, members, you can post stuff and you're going to get responses and very, very different, right? And you'll take what you have. Maybe you'll tweak the comments so maybe there's better understanding. And oh, by the way, you get to reply to other comments. That's what really is cool. Once we kind of cross 200, is the what I'm seeing is the interaction is kind of accelerating, which is like so much fun for me to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can make it as good and as active as you want. The more active, the amount of people. I mean, I've probably been in less than a week and I haven't really had any connections in my life. Like I said, it's self-taught and podcasts. And man, shout out to the forever landlord on there, Renee, too, he did a little practice session with me yesterday. I have
That's
just a few
awesome.
meetings lined up with people that are so much more advanced and just they're just willing to help, man. I mean, it's a big step. They made me make a YouTube channel, told me kind of, I made one this morning, changed brand. It's not my thing, but that was a big part of joint school, man, was just trying to take the next step, talk to people that are actually doing it,
Yeah.
and you know, grow from there.
I love it. Well, let's give some encouragement. If there's any 23-year-olds out there looking at perhaps buying a house, low down payment, payment assistance, and taking on their first house hack. Why don't you talk about that experience? Talk about getting, like, was it difficult to get down payment assistance? So talk about that process.
No, it's not as difficult as it sounds. You just have to be able to qualify and go through the process. And I'm in one of the most unaffordable markets maybe in part of the nation, being in the East Bay, California, about 50 minutes east of San Francisco.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an average guy, didn't go to college, work normal stuff, and at 23, I just been working my whole life, and it is possible you can get in low, and that's kind of a message I want to get out there for people that young, rather than just it's not possible or it's unaffordable. I mean, there is ways. You talk about creative financing. I would have never got into the house. I probably had 20 grand in my name, probably way less than that.
Hmm.
I actually have a paper that I keep posted up. My net worth when I applied for that house was negative 16,000. So
Shut up.
I keep
So wait,
that
hold on. You had a negative net worth and you bought a
negative net
house.
worth.
That's not possible.
Correct.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I had to. So it is possible being an average kid out there, man. So don't let anyone tell you it's unaffordable or impossible if you put some work in. So I keep
That's
that paper stapled up over here behind me to this day, and then
that's
I can
awesome.
maybe share my net worth later on what it is roughly in just real estate, but it's It's come a
It's
long way,
not
man. It
negative.
snowballed.
It's not negative, I'm
It's
guessing.
not negative. It's not negative. It's my favorite piece of paper, man. I look at that all the time and just smile. So
I love it. So I'm curious, as you kind of built this portfolio, was it house hack, house hack, house hack, like you lived in it, then moved, bought another one, house hack, lived in it, moved. Did you do that, or how did that all transpire?
somewhere in between. So my first one was the house hack for about 7 months, and then when I realized how powerful that was, and since I had such a low down payment, had money saved on top of that, and I was basically living for free at that point between bringing. I had already pre-planned having some friends move in before I even closed, so day one house
Nice.
hacking and had people in. And then I realized how powerful that was. So I started looking in. I was like, I need to keep this going, and ended up finding a house out in Boise, about 20 minutes outside in Kuna, Idaho. It was an affordable market. It was cheap. I knew people out there, been out there, word of mouth. People from California are going to Idaho, Texas, Tennessee. At the time, it had like top three growth population in the nation. You could just see the economy. So kind of made the decision at the time. I mean, houses were still 260. Median out there is now is about 450 after the COVID boom, but
Wow.
it just worked out. And after that, I waited, got some dry powder. Another year or two later, moved into a another house hack that I'm in now in 2023.
Nice.
And then end of 2023, I ended up buying another rental out here in Brentwood, just kind of using some equity and a HELOC and
Nice.
pulled a little from 401. I just got a little creative, just kind of all in on the real estate aspect. I love it, man.
Yeah, and then you also mentioned this last one you're in, it's a live-in flip. Uh,
Yeah,
what does that mean for scale? Are we talking like gutting kitchens and bath, or what are we doing in this flip?
no, this one's basically just kind of convert some room. I mean, when I bought this, like the office I'm in, I just saw instant equity and turn into a room. There's a half bath next to it. I'll make it a full bath and go from three, 2.5 to 4, 3. I am more of a buy and hold. So I might hold this one. It just gives me some more options. I really
Yeah,
don't like to sell, but once I get into the school community, finish this up, and then maybe see better options that people are actually doing in today's market all over
yeah,
the nation, let alone just me in my bubble of California.
yeah.
And, things could change. So
Yeah, one of the beauties again of the school community, and first off, being open to it, right? Again, joining it's one thing, but if you're going to be a wallflower,
that's the biggest thing, man. I mean, like I said, my social media presence is good, not putting myself out there and trying to comment or post. And the amount of people I've talked to, I've been talking to, or I'm supposed to talk to Frank this weekend, who runs the Wednesday
yeah,
accountability group. He was open to talk to me. Like I said, shout out to Renee, man. He made me a little thumbnail and everything for my for my YouTube channel. And I I wish I had everyone else's names up here, but there's a few more on there too, man. I've been a week, but
uh,
you can have it as good as you want it if you want to reach out. Someone's
yeah,
an actual investor for the most point, and they're
yeah,
just willing to share.
yeah, yeah. The beauty of where you are, again, once you get into real estate investing, you've proved it work. All of that is you're in what I call growth mode, right?
Yeah,
In growth mode, which for Olivia and I, just for context, was about 15 years. And what growth mode meant for us is we were always looking at our equity position and trying to figure out where we could best deploy it. And sometimes that meant selling. Um, but having a community where you could say, "Hey guys, I'm thinking about doing this. Here are the numbers. What do you think?" And the community will tell you. Right? You may not like the answers, but that's why you have a community like this. It's pretty awesome. Whether or not there's a lot of people that are like, "Hey, I got a bunch of debt equity. What should I do with it? Should I go?" Like I get this question a lot. Right, I got all this debt equity. I did what you said in 21. I bought a couple of stuff. I'm up 50%. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I want to keep going. Should I go get a HELOC today? I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, what kind of deals are you seeing out there? I don't like getting debt just to get debt. I want to make sure we're using it effectively and hopefully in a way that it's way above the cost of debt. Right? If it costs you 10%, but you can only get a 5% yield, don't get the debt. That's not how this game is supposed to work.
and that's my biggest question coming into year 5, especially being in California. And my mindset was growth mode, so I'm obviously higher equity rich than cash flow, but I work a W-2 job. Last Thursday I worked 24 hours straight. Like I work a lot. I'll substitute what I need to. But that's the biggest part about joining the school community too is I'm coming into year 5. I know, like you say, 10, 15-year process. I'd never expected to get rich quick like the gurus do online that I try to avoid. And that's why I joined the school, man. I mean, like I said, less than a weekend. Just the amount of conversations that I've been able to have has been out of this world, and that's what I need for this next step. Is actually talking to people who are doing it versus me being just here by myself listening to 7 podcasts on real estate. So actually talk to someone about my
Talk to
situation.
real
So
people, man. We're real people inside
yeah,
school.
yeah,
It's
real
like
people, man, and
IRL,
they
right?
are
In
there to
real
help.
life.
Yep. Yeah, exactly, man. You can't just
That's
hold to
hilarious.
yourself and they'll tell you I could do that all day. So just getting
That's
out there and
awesome.
talking to people, and never in the world would I have made a YouTube channel. So here we
That's
go.
amazing. That's amazing. So let's talk about that net worth thing. We kind of teed it up earlier. Again, it went from what, negative 16 or was it negative 18,000? I already forgot.
It was about negative 16,
Okay.
about negative 16,000, and have that little sheet of paper. And then
Yeah.
if I kind of use Property Llama now just to kind of keep a basic idea, which he was actually on
Sure.
one of your podcasts, I believe.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
we're sitting at a rough like 720,000 if I'm looking at it right now. So we've
Damn.
come a long way from negative 16. So I mean the beauty of some low interest rates being in
Yeah. Yeah.
California and decades of appreciation, but could have just
Yeah.
sat around and not did anything and been at the maybe zero by now if I was lucky. So
Yeah. You could have had all those doomers out there telling you, don't buy, it's
oh
going to
man.
crash. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
That's
being in
amazing.
the blue collar workforce, you hear most of the common tongue, just average everyday people, and then
Yeah.
it's interest rates are going to drop or the housing market's going to crash, and it's you guys better be careful what you want, but you might get both of those. I don't know.
Yeah, I just did
So
the math. I did 720 divided by 5, which was 5 years. That's $144,000 a year. Just simple math. Um,
yeah,
that's not bad. That doesn't suck.
no, no, it doesn't suck at all, and that's why hopefully the school community can really help me push that to the
Yeah,
next level and actually conversate with people. So
that's cool. So
just excited to grow and go from there.
there you go. I'm curious about the house hacking angle. Are you doing what some people do with house hacking? Is creating extra bedrooms, or you're basically leaving the footprint the same?
So this one's a little different. This one is trying to create an extra bedroom and bath and then fix up. I mean, there's no landscaping, it's weeds and everything, just simple
Right.
stuff I could do. It probably needs floors. It's basic aesthetic stuff. It's going to improve value plus the bedrooms. First one when I moved in, not much room for that, but it was probably one of the common worst house on a decent block type thing.
Yeah.
So I pretty much over the 2 years that I lived there, it's paint, it's floors, it's redoing the whole backyard, it's front yard, it's everything of just over 2 years of just living there and then living for free and having your disposable income up. Someone else is paying your mortgage. I mean, while I'm working 80 hours a week, it's that's when it really clicked, man. It just starts making sense, and it
Dry
snowballs.
powder goes like this.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
people need
That
to
first house,
realize. Yeah, people need to realize this. You could be 23, 24 years old, get in with a down payment assistance, have roommates. Your roommates will let you possibly live for free, if not significantly reduced. And again, for most people, X taxes, shelter is the most expensive thing, right? It's the biggest expense. If you stop worrying about a $7 latte, go tackle that $2,000 living. And again, it's not forever. You're not going to be 73 and still doing this. You're going to be 23 and then 28, and by 33, maybe you'll have 7 of these and you'll be like, "Oh, time for my own." Great. It's not forever.
yeah, it's just that's what you want to put up with, you know what I mean? Some delayed gratification. I mean, I know that's a pretty common thing, but at 23, you can basically get just about any one of your friends and family or whatever to move in and help pay out. I mean, I'm sure people are looking to move out, so it's easier the younger you are, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible for everyone. Everyone has a different path, and I just know what I'm going to, so I'll do it as long
Yeah.
as I need to.
I was just thinking about how stupid I was at 23. I think at 23 I graduated college. I'd gotten my first full-time job. I think I made like 28 grand a year and I bought a $40,000 car. How stupid was I? And you go buy a house. That's not fair. It's not fair. I'm
I
upset.
did have the expensive truck at the time, which once I bought the house and house hacking, I kind of clicked. I sold the dirt bike, I sold the truck. I then, now I drive I think it's a 2014 Corolla that has $100 payment. You know what I mean? So I had plenty of mistakes at 23, plenty of people over having some fun. That's how it goes. But
Oh, well, thank
things
you for
start
making me
clicking.
feel
You know what
better.
I mean? Yeah.
Oh man. Well, tell me about your YouTube channel. What's this YouTube channel all about?
Yeah, so I just made it this morning, actually, just to be prepared. I wanted to shut it out. I'm gonna try and do content. I don't want to be like the 28-year-old influencer who's just trying to get likes and doom and lie and kind of, I don't feel I have the experience to be trying to tell people what to do, but I think I have the experience to share my experience, what worked for
Yeah.
me at my age, and just stuff that I'm doing. And if I know I'm being honest and I'm just kind of sharing what I'm doing, I feel it's okay to put content. I just don't want to be out there picking random stats year over year and the
Yeah.
doomer
Creating doom.
127%, you
Oh,
know,
its world is ending. Yeah.
or
So
acting like I'm the guru. I think
no.
I can share my experience, and whether people watch it or not, it's just a
Yeah.
part of growing and putting myself out there. So
Yeah. What I would tell you, having had a YouTube channel for 5 years now, is you really have a choice. You can chase growth or you can chase impact. Those are the only two options. And if you're going to chase growth, the scarier the headline, the more negative, the more distortion, right? If you want to grow, tell people what they want to hear, which is fear, right? Give me permission to do nothing. However, if you're like me and you want to chase impact, and again, my goal with creating YouTube, writing books, having school, is I want to create something that outlives me by 50 freaking years. That has been my goal since I sat on my couch and recorded my first video. It's a different ball game. When you're chasing impact, it's like, hey, I did good work. I shared my honest story. I feel good about it. Don't care if anybody watches it. The other thing I will tell you is the first 25 to 30 videos, nobody's going to watch. It's okay. People will go back once they find you and find your voice. Once you find your voice, don't overthink it. Don't over edit it. Um, for me, it goes thumbnail, title, then video. I think a lot of people get into video first, right? Because again, think about how your search, right? The visual of the thumbnail, then the title for the search, like how to do this, how to do that. Then like Sean Cannell talks about the hook, right? The first 5 to 15 seconds. If you just practice that, Kyle, and if you stay true to impact, even if nobody watches it, you're going to have a good time, which is pretty
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, and that's what me and Renee kind of talked about. Shout out to school again. We kind of talked about it. If I'm being true and I just want to be impactful and get to a point where I'm putting up videos of my story, my impact, and if I can do it in one of the most unaffordable places in the nation, if I can get one person to at least buy a single family residence that they live their whole life and that's it, I feel like I've accomplished and that was impact rather than I don't want the views. I
Yeah.
don't care about that. If I get one useful thing out there for two people, one person, I feel like that's enough.
Dude, Kyle, it's going to be amazing. So, what is this name of this fast growing brand new YouTube channel?
So the YouTube channel, Blue Collar Landlord 24, same with X, and then Instagram is going to be Working Landlord 24. So those are my two. Those are
Nice.
all
So,
my
one more
usernames right
time,
now.
YouTube is what? One more time?
YouTube is going to be Blue Collar Landlord 24,
Lo- Love it. Blue collar
and
landlord
X as
24.
well.
Nice.
So, and then shout out to Renee again for making my thumbnail. It's nice and bright, and he did a great job. So.
Renee, man, great job. Thanks for helping a brother out. Kyle, if somebody wanted to reach out to you in school, or I guess they should follow you on YouTube, where else should we send them, if anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to Instagram too at workinglandlord.com. I also
Oh,
made an email to kind of strictly for anyone that wants to talk, man. Anyone that hears that and wants to have a conversation or ask, feel free to reach out. I know how it is because it's not my thing. So, but just do it. It's blue collar landlord 24 at gmail.com.
love it.
And then, anything, man, message, call. I mean, I'll give you my number if you message me. I just love having the conversations. It's what I needed to grow. So.
Yeah. Again, thank you for being a part of school. Thank you for being skeptical. A lot of people are skeptical and don't join. If you are skeptical, put down $20. If you don't like it, leave. It's okay. It's not a year-long commitment. But trust me, the school community is there. Over 207 members as of this morning. If you are if you reach out, if you put yourself out there even a little bit, you will get a response, because that's just that's who is attracted to one rental at a time. So Kyle, thank you for doing this, man. Keep it up. I love the fact you're chasing impact versus growth. You will help people, right? There's a lot of people my age that kind of been through, done this. You're starting it out. You're year 5, 700K net worth from negative, down payment assistance, just house. It's all good, and your story needs to be told. So keep it up.
Appreciate it, Michael. Thanks for having me on. Look forward to maybe talking again someday when I maybe year 10 catch up and then
There you go.
keep up on school, man. So
All right. Thank you, brother.
thanks, Michael.